The moment the light flipped green, I felt the world shift. My foot eased forward, because I was late. Of course. Late for the acquisition meeting that had consumed my morning, late on deadlines I'd promised to crush, late to prove I was indispensable. But then my vision wavered, like a camera losing focus. My hands went numb around the wheel. I felt the car drift, as if someone else had nudged my shoulder. The hum of the engine fell away, replaced by a low ringing, like the aftershock of a bell. I think that must have been my last conscious thought, that ringing, because after that, everything went black. When I opened my eyes again, the world had changed. White lights danced in my periphery, as though someone had shaken a jar of fireflies above me. The smell of antiseptic pressed against my nostrils. A relentless beeping grew louder with each pulse of my heartbeat. I tried to turn my head, but my neck felt encased in concrete. A brace strangled me, metal cold against skin. I realized I couldn't move my left leg. Panic rose in my throat like bile. My vision swirled, but I forced my eyes open, just wide enough to see pale walls, stainless steel trays. A nurse hovered nearby, scribbling something on a clipboard. Her eyes were gentle, but distant. She spoke in clipped sentences. "You were found in the middle of the intersection, Mr. Carr. Do you remember what happened?" My mouth worked, but no sound came out. My tongue felt thick, as if I'd swallowed cotton. I blinked, and the white ceiling spun. She leaned closer, voice softening. "You've been through a lot. You're lucky to be alive." Lucky to be alive. The words struck me harder than any pain could. I tried to piece together the moments before. The green light was the last anchor I had. I remembered my pulse racing on the drive into the city. The adrenaline of that morning's meeting coursing through my veins. The anticipation of presenting our firm's offer. How I'd rehearsed the pitch on the ride over. My car had been an extension of me, precise, powerful, and now it lay mangled somewhere outside my body. Its only occupant, a dull ache, blossoming in my chest, spreading like wildfire. My lungs burned as though I'd inhaled shards of glass. I tried again to speak, and a rasping whisper escaped. "Wife." The nurse paused, eyebrows knitting together. She tapped her pen. "Your emergency contact was notified," she said. She hesitated, biting her lip. They said they're on a cruise. That's what they told us." The words stung, but it was her next breath that cut deeper. They said, "If you disappeared, it'd be no great loss." The room tilted. My heart stuttered. I had to focus to keep from slipping back into unconsciousness. "Name," I croaked. The nurse placed a gloved hand on my arm, her thumb pressed so gently it hardly registered. "Your wife, Sierra Carr, Sierra." I closed my eyes and fought back a surge of nausea. Sierra had been everything once, sunlight on my darkest days, the voice in my ear reminding me I was more than a collection of spreadsheets and late nights. But lately, she'd been different, distant, distracted by sun-drenched photos of cocktails and beaches, posted under Dachau Live Your Best Life. She treated my career triumphs like trivial footnotes. I chalked it up to stress. Until that call shattered any fragile illusions I'd harbored. The door hissed open behind me. A uniformed officer stepped in. Hesitant under the harsh fluorescent glow, his face was young, maybe 30. Etched, with lines that didn't belong on such youthful skin. He approached my bedside, eyes heavy with sympathy. And something else. Embarrassment, perhaps. He cleared his throat. "Mr. Carr, I'm Officer Delgado." His voice cracked. He swallowed. "I'm sorry you had to hear that the way you did." I willed my eyes to stay open. I wanted to curse him, demand answers. shake him until he told me how long I'd hovered between life and death. But all I could manage was a tired nod. He pulled a chair close, sat down, clasped his hands between his knees. We came as soon as the call came in. EMTs found you unconscious. The car, it was hit by a tractor trailer. You drifted into oncoming lanes. Oncoming lanes. The realization felt like ice filling my chest. I remembered the blur of headlights, the sudden weightlessness, and then nothing. No scream. No flash of impact. Nothing, and yet I was here, tethered by tubes and wires, the world moving on around me without me. I could see the pity in Delgado's eyes, but it was eclipsed by guilt. Like he knew he'd caused more damage simply by delivering Sierra's call. Why didn't she come? I rasped. The question was an afterthought, a whisper against the roar of pain. Delgado looked away, and I caught the tremor in his jaw. He glanced back, more resolute. She didn't come, because she said she couldn't. He sighed. She's on a cruise, Mr. Carr. There's no port for weeks. I'm sorry. Cruise. I imagined white sandy beaches, champagne flutes catching the sun, a salon filled with laughter. At my expense. Each image drove a blade through my chest. I'd spent years building our life, late-night brainstorming sessions over takeout, sacrificing weekends to grow my practice, always promising her more time, and now, when I needed her most, she was sipping margaritas under a palm tree, glad to be rid of me. When I signed the last page, I felt like I could breathe for the first time in months. Andre raised his coffee cup in a silent toast. To new beginnings, he said. I met his gaze and raised my own. To freedom, I said. It wasn't the kind Sierra had bragged about, the kind you flaunt on a beach with a cocktail in hand. It was the quiet kind, the kind that didn't need an audience, the kind that came from knowing you'd taken every hit life could throw at you, and stood up anyway. Afterward, I sat alone in the apartment, the city humming outside my window. I thought of Sierra, probably laughing somewhere with her sister, blissfully unaware that her world was about to shift beneath her feet. She'd never thought I'd have the strength to leave. She'd never thought I'd have the strength to take everything back. She was about to find out just how wrong she'd been, and for the first time in a long time. I felt something close to peace. It started with a call I never thought I'd get, and one I definitely never thought I'd answer. 2 months had passed since